So I've only done this a few times and we're gonna experiment today, but we're making wine. Are you ready? I want you to join us. I'm at my mom's vineyard. She's got a bunch of different types of grapes and we're trying to figure out how to make this a sustainable annual process. So let's get to it. So this is an old school destemmer and grape crusher. Really efficient, super easy to use, and works like a charm. All right, we've sterilized all the carboys and we're ready to press the grapes. So this is a bladder press, and this bladder here is gonna fill up with water and press the grapes against the edge, which is gonna filter it down into this sort of funnel, which will go into the pot. All right, now we're ready to press. All right, so the bladder press has a gauge here. We have water coming in from the garden hose and then water coming out through this out hose when we're done. So I'm gonna turn it on right now. And we're gonna see the gauge start to go up in pressure as the grapes start to get pressed inside. Now that all the pulp has been pressed and we're ready to make our wine, we're gonna turn this off and get all the bladder out. So essentially, this is just the water that filled the press inside to push it against the edges of the screen. I'm gonna take this second bit of all the grape skins, put them back in a pot, add a little bit of sugar and water and some of the yeast, and see if I can also ferment that to get a little more out of it. So we got this apple pear cider that we pressed yesterday. We're going to co-ferment it with the grapes, 4 different kinds of grapes, apple and apple pear, together in this about 50-50 and see what we can make. What kind of magic can we create? So I'm gonna ferment this with a champagne yeast. There are some wild yeasts already in here, but I predominantly want a really good tasting yeast to take over the main culture. So I'm gonna just aerate this and add a bit of yeast. We're gonna give this a try. Wow. Okay, my friends. Let's give it a little shake. So I want to hyper-oxygenate this right away to encourage the yeast, and then we're going to close and hypo-oxygenate it to ferment down for the next 4 to 6 months, probably racking it at least once, if not twice, depending on how much sediment and yeast I have. I'll give it a shake, and then every once in a while I'll oxygenate it, and we'll get this really bubbly to begin with, so there's more of an aggressive yeast takeover, and then we'll bring it down to a cooler temperature and let it brew for the next 3 months at least. Maybe racking it twice, we'll see. What a beautiful bottle, eh? All right, now let's get this into a cool location for it to do its magic.
Rikiki-coo-coo-coo.